The weather has definitely changed in the St. Louis area. More on that coming up.
Plus, the 11th day of the 11th month is always Veterans Day. Find out how the city of St. Peters is celebrating those who have served our country.
And the Lindenwood football team is on the hunt for a title. Those stories and more ahead on LUTV News.
Welcome to this edition of LUTV News. I'm Jake Adams.
I'm Chelsea Behrens.
And I'm Shaylin Davis. Thanks for joining us.
Shaylin, it's really cold outside, and hopefully later on in the week we can get some warmer weather.
Yeah, and was that snow that I saw outside?
There's plenty of snow to go around. Unfortunately, the cold is going to stick around for a little bit more. And the snow is still coming down outside. It starts to lighten up around 6, so be careful on the roads. Luckily, it's not the last of the winter weather coming down this week. And then chilly sunshine is just ahead, bear through the Arctic conditions today.
And as temperatures continue to drop in Missouri, the Missouri Department of Transportation is preparing for the worst. The possibility of record low temperatures and the chance for more snow will cause problems, especially as the roads get colder. MoDOT crews have been practicing their winter drills to prepare for the weather, but they are not expecting to put the whole plan into action. Since the weather was fairly warm this past week, the snow-sleet mixture is not expected to stick or refreeze on the road. MoDOT also wants to remind drivers to limit travel as much as possible. And if you have to travel, make sure you give the road crews plenty of room.
In honor of all those who served and who are currently serving, Happy Veterans Day. The St. Peters City Hall is celebrating this Veterans Day.
I felt really welcomed here. They really applauded us newcomers onto the armed forces, and that was really warm, really welcoming.
Well, I just want them to remember the sacrifices that we made for freedom for them, and we wrote a blank check to the U.S., including up to our life, and so we did do quite a sacrifice.
All branches of service are recognized at the ceremony. This is an annual event, and many people come to support the veterans every year.
President Donald Trump spoke at New York City Veterans Day Parade on Monday. This parade comes on the same day of the ceasefire agreement that ended World War I. This year, the parade specifically honored the United States Marine Corps. Sunday was the 244th birthday of the Corps, but the president used the opportunity to praise all branches of the military and recognize veterans' contributions throughout history.
The towering spirit of strength that we see in this city lives within the heart of every American warrior. From the snow of Valley Forge to the jungles of Vietnam, from the forests of Bellewood to the beaches of Normandy, from the mountains of Afghanistan to the deserts of Iraq, that spirit has helped our fighters defeat tyrants, conquer fascism, vanquish communism, and face down terrorism.
President Trump is the first active president to attend the New York parade. Vaping has become an epidemic in the United States, so much so that the president has been thinking about raising the legal age from 18 to 21. The change is not a new one. Hawaii is the first state to pass a law that raises the vaping age and smoking age to 21. A similar law has been introduced in Wisconsin. A recent study shows that 1 in 4 high school students and 1 in 10 middle schoolers have vaped in the past 30 days. Flavored vaping products are incredibly popular with teens. This has caused the FDA to target vaping products and force sweet-flavored products to stop production. The United States Surgeon General declared youth vaping to be an epidemic in 2018.
A 22-year-old man accidentally shot himself in the South County Mall restroom on Saturday. St. Louis County Police arrived at the scene around 2:30 p.m. Police aren't releasing the man's name. The man is being treated at the hospital, but he is expected to be okay. It's not clear if the man will face charges. Police say they are investigating.
A Valley Park man has been charged with murder after police say he stabbed his neighbor to death during an argument early Saturday morning. 37-year-old Timothy Rawl has been charged with at least one count of second-degree murder. Another neighbor says he heard Rawl say, quote, "I'll do 15 to life over this." 27-year-old Anthony Morgan was taken to a hospital with multiple stab wounds. He died a short time later. Rawl is being held on a $250,000 bond.
Straight ahead on LUTV News. There are some accusations over how Apple determines credit limits for its new credit card.
More on that when we come back.
Thousands of dollars are going to help.
Sí, that's right.
Thousands of dollars are going to help Detective Sean Cleveland, who was hurt in a shooting at Normandy High School reunion. Sunday's fundraiser raised over $15,000. The event was organized by the Ethical Society of Police and the St. Louis Police Officers Association. 28-year-old Cleveland was shot on October 5th and is recovering at home. If anyone wants to donate, visit rebound911.org and click Donate. Mention Sean Cleveland in the memo.
Problems with the new Apple credit card are upsetting some people over how much it decides how much credit people are getting. According to entrepreneur David Hansen, the Apple card gave him 20 times the credit limit that his wife got. In partnership with Apple, Goldman Sachs states that each applicant is individually evaluated according to income, personal credit scores, and personal debt. Goldman also says that it is possible for two family members to receive very different levels of credit, saying, "We have not and will not make decisions based on factors like gender." Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak also says that he received 10 times as much credit as his wife. Apple itself has not responded to these events.
Police in North St. Louis County are investigating the shooting death of a man early Monday morning. Police say the man was found shot to death in a pickup truck on the 9800 block of Portage Drive in Moline Acres. They say he looks about 40 years old. St. Louis County Police say the man apparently hit a parked car after he was shot. Anyone with information should call the St. Louis County Police Department.
A St. Louis woman has died after she was found hurt in the middle of a North St. Louis street early Monday morning. Emergency crews responded to a call around 6:30 near the 8000 block of Hall Street in the North Riverfront neighborhood. The victim was originally thought to have been hit by a car, but St. Louis police now say that they don't know if that was the case. The woman was rushed to a hospital where she later died.
A former CIA agent from O'Fallon is in the middle of a book tour, talking about how he was jailed for allegedly leaking classified information to the New York Times. Jeffrey Sterling was released from prison in early 2018 and has now written a book called Unwanted Spy: The Persecution of an American Whistleblower. In 2015, Sterling was convicted on charges that he had leaked classified information on phony nuclear weapon blueprints to New York Times reporter James Risen. Sterling served 2 years of his 42-month sentence and has always maintained his innocence. After his release, he has returned to the St. Louis area but has spent the last few months crisscrossing the country promoting his book. Sterling is scheduled to appear at Left Bank Books on Euclid Avenue Monday evening for a book signing event.
When you think about the landmarks of St. Louis, the Arch often comes to mind. Arch Apparel is a store with products dedicated to repping St. Louis. LUTV's Shaylin Davis has the story.
Arch Apparel. Does it sound familiar? Well, maybe it looks familiar. St. Louis themed clothing. How cool is that?
I was trying to find t-shirts that I felt like represented me, but not in a Cardinals or Blues fashion, which I love and I support those teams, but I wanted something that I could wear outside of those events and still feel like I was representing St. Louis. So that's really what started and kind of kicked off the company.
Park is from Australia, and he started the business in June of 2016.
So we're about 3 years old, give or take. I feel like the first 6 months to a year was a lot of trial and error to get figured out of what we love doing and things like that. And now we have a pretty good identity of who we want to be and what we want to be going forward. So I feel like it's kind of taken off at this point.
There's so many St. Louis options here. The Blues, Anheuser-Busch, the Cardinals, Emos, and even Lion's Choice.
We kind of say no to nothing. We just say yes to everything, and then we figure it out, which is the best part about it. We just want to connect and make relationships with the individuals and businesses, so when the timing is right, we can all succeed at that point.
All Things St. Louis is an inspiration for all their products.
I'm also inspired by a lot of the things that St. Louisans say or are unique to St. Louis, certain things that we do or places we go or things we say.
The employees are having as much fun as it looks like they're having.
I love this job. It's super fun, super unique. I realize that what I get to do is different than almost anything anybody else in my field does, which I think is exciting.
It's cool that we can have people that work here that are creative thinking and want to make St. Louis a better place, more positive, and that's one of the things I appreciate the most probably about Arch Apparel.
Shaylin Davis, LUTV News.
The award for the best new ice cream flavor in the country is a St. Louis-born treat, Gooey Butter Cake. Clementine's Naughty and Nice Creamery is an ice cream shop that makes their own unique flavors in St. Louis. While there's an ongoing battle about who actually created the first gooey butter cake back in the 1940s, it's still a St. Louis favorite and a tradition. The National Ice Cream Retailers Association held a meeting recently in Charleston, South Carolina, and crowned the yellow cake and cream cheese-based flavor #1. Their blind taste test proves that the gooey butter cake beats the competition.
Snowy skies today. The cold weather is still in effect, but not for long. Sunshine is definitely coming up this week. I have all your weather news coming up next on LUTV.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Mom, I got it. What are you doing in there?
I got stuck.
Are you a dog?
I wouldn't do that. Have you seen the pliers? Where'd you find those?
It's not your birthday.
Sorry.
Bye, Grandpa.
Bye, Grandpa.
Take care of yourself.
What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
The cold weather is coming in full effect, so make sure you have your coat and heater ready. The Midwest is taking a hit of the snow right now with a light wintry mix in some areas. Luckily, once these last little flakes drop in the snowy mix, it's going to be headed up to the northeast, giving them the same conditions that we experienced in the morning in the St. Charles area. Now, let's take a look at how this is affecting us locally. Snow is all around the area today, so please be careful when driving and make sure you wear some shoes with some gripping on them. In St. Louis, it's 30. And then looking at St. Charles is 29. Down in Maryland Heights, it's a little bit warmer with 32 degrees. And over in O'Fallon, it's currently 30. And in St. Peter's, it's going to be holding on to 30 degrees as well. Now, when we look at the whole week as a whole, on Monday, we're bringing winter vibes into fall with a slushy, snowy mix. A high of 31, low down to 14. Tuesday, the sun will be making its appearance, but yet it's still the coldest day of the week. A high of 26, low is getting down to 17. Wednesday, the clouds are taking over with mostly cloudy skies. The high up to 40, a low down to 28. Now looking at Thursday, the clouds are prevalent with partly cloudy skies, still keeping the high of 40, but a new low of 22. Friday, the sun is going to be back out, trying to warm up a little bit with a high of 45 and a low of 28. Not too bad for starting off the weekend for sports events coming up. Now let's take it over to Rolando, who has the sports deets for you.
Thanks, Jalen. The Lindenwood football team got to celebrate once again after beating Missouri S&T, but the win almost didn't happen until the very last moments of the game. But more on that when we come back.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's got to come home with me. Not anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
I have to start giving it to the Lions. The Lindenwood football team got to celebrate a share of the GLVC championship in its first season in the conference after defeating Missouri S&T 37-31 in overtime on Saturday. Quarterback Kay Bristers kept his opponent to a 37-yard touchdown, giving the Lions the lead in the first quarter of the game. But the Miners fall back with a touchdown of their own to put the game 31-31, tying the game after the second quarter. But when Missouri S&T had the chance to end the game with a field goal, Jordan Perry came through and blocked the attempt, sending the game to overtime. The Lions took possession during the overtime with a 12-yard score, ending the game 37-31. It was indeed a good weekend for the Lions. The Blues won 3-2 this Saturday Eve, even though they didn't have either of their two alternate captains. Vladimir Tarasenko is out of the game for about 5 months because of shoulder injury, and Alexander Steen couldn't be part of the game due to his hurt ankle. But nothing seems to stop the team, who defeated Calgary 3-2 in yet another overtime win. The Blues' Western Conference leading record is 12-3-3. This was their 7th consecutive victory and 5th in a row on the road. During the win streak, 5 of the 7 wins have come in overtime. In other news, the Lindenwood women's volleyball team had a 4-set loss against Quincy on senior day. However, senior Kelly Wilson stood out by recording 23 kills. This is the 4th time in school history a Lion has this many kills, and only the 2nd time that it has been done in 4 sets. The first time was by Kayla Goyad versus Newman on September 1st of 2012. The loss takes down Lindenwood to a 10-15 overall and 1-12 GLVC action. Lindenwood men's ice hockey team extended their winning streak to 8 games this weekend with a 4-0 shutout to Davenport. The Lions scored not once but twice in the opening period of the game. The first goal came from Zach Mitchell, followed by Tommy Hinsman within only 3 minutes. The Lions outshot the Panthers 48-17, and Cooper Sita stopped the 17 shots he faced to earn the victory in goals. The Lions wrapped the 2-game set with Davenport after a 5-0 win on Sunday afternoon. The Lindenwood men's basketball team started their 2019 season off with 2 impressive wins in Springfield, Illinois, by winning a nail-biter against the University of Wisconsin, Parkside on Friday night 75-74. The game was led by a 34-point performance from TJ Crockett. Then on Saturday against Ohio Valley, Lindenwood's offense came out firing, putting up 108 points and trashing the Five Scots 108-73. Crockett continues his hot start to the season, scoring a team high of 23 points. DJ Blackman also helped lead the Lions' balanced attack, scoring 19 points in just 24 minutes. The Lions are back in action on Thursday for the first home game of the season against Lindenwood University at 7. That's all I have for reports. Now let's go back to Jake and Chelsea.
That's it for this edition of LUTV News. I'm Chelsea Behrens.
And I'm Jake Adams. Thanks for joining us.